Gotta get the bait. Ain't no need to lag. Yeah, gotta chase the bait. Ain't no need to lag.
What's up? Here we go. Let me turn my stuff off here. Man, it's still delayed. Gotta love that song though, huh? All right, I'm gonna pull my stuff up here. Chris, what's up? Was that Leo? Hope you see this because I feel like on Twitter I don't. Yeah, Twitter. I get a lot of stuff on Twitter. It's hard to pay attention to that stuff. But when there's only 7 viewers at the current moment, I'm gonna see that. So you got me. You're 1 out of 7 right now, my guy. What was I doing? Pulling my notes up here. Welcome back. A nice little day off yesterday. I did decide to play some NBA in the Discord. Lost. What a surprise. I'm not going to say like I'm struggling with the NBA, but like I'm not doing great. So if you're in the Discord, I think I am going to transition to just more straights. I had a banger of a straight today. Hopefully, I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling like my voice might not. Let me check this real fast. Whoa, music, huh? All right, there it goes. All right. Yeah, John Collins. If you're in the Discord, I had given that out. And then the line moved like 1 or 2 points, so I was still going to roll it. But, I mean, he was over it in like 11 out of 12 games. I was going to do his points plus rebounds at 18.5. He's at 18 or more points in like 10 straight games against the Warriors. So having those rebounds there obviously would have been beneficial. But, you know, we miss it. You know, we move on or whatever, you know. So it's weird. I got a notification on Discord from something from October. Like, I just got the message. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, if you're in the chat, thanks for saying hi. Appreciate you guys. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm going to get the notes pulled up here, and then we'll get recording here for the podcast. What's going on here? And 3 NBA plays. No more football for a minute, so we're rolling NBA. I will say March 28th, right? What was that? 2 months and a day until we have MLB back. And I've always said, like, oh, MLB is the worst sport to bet on. I hate it. Here, like, lately, NBA just sucks, you know? So, here we go. What's up, and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab, your number 1 gambling podcast for quick picks. Now live on YouTube as well. Brought to you by Pony Up, my buddy's app. I have a link in the description on YouTube. There should be a link wherever you're listening to a podcast there as well to check it out. Just on Apple iOS. Had it on Android, but struggled technology-wise. I guess it's pretty hard to make the apps for those, but free download. Free prizes. You start out with X amount of coins. I can't remember what it is. You wager up to 300 coins at a time, and you turn in those free coins into free prizes, gift cards, Madden, PGA games, golf balls, stuff like that. So pretty cool app. Go ahead and check that out. Hit the description from there. I'm not going to post anything on Twitter today advertising it, so I'm kind of curious like what maybe action I'm getting on the app, as I do have this little tracker trying to help them get it launched. I think it could be like the next best thing, so do me a favor and check that one out today. Speaking of today, we have 3 plays. Took the day off yesterday. It was nice. I got a lot of cleaning done. I got a lot of stuff done. I was talking to YouTube before here. I did play a little NBA, and unfortunately, it's just frustrating. You know, like I was on. If you're in the Discord, you've seen this play, but you know, Embiid needed 30 points, 10 rebounds to break Kareem's record of 17 straight of doing those 2 things. He only got 7 rebounds. I was also on Jokic assists and like a builder, and guess what? Embiid had all the assists. Jokic had all the rebounds. Like reverse. Like it's just been a mess, and like I need to like sage the house or something like that. You know, eventually like the wins will start coming along. We'll do okay, but NBA has just been kind of goofy, and Of course, I'm doing straight bets here, but if you're part of the Discord or anything like that, I try to do I'm doing 3-4 leg, sometimes 5 depending on the juice, like builders. Just trying to create some different things, and probably going to move on to some straights here for the VIP because it has just been kind of goofy. But today is Wednesday, January 17th. Before we get into today's plays, we'll talk about what we did yesterday, which really isn't yesterday. We're talking about Monday. Speaking of January 17th, we have 3 months and 1 day until MLB action comes back. That's opening day. And on opening day, every single team is going to play today, on that day, which is pretty cool. Normally, it's only one game, and then all of them play the day after. But the first day, it's just going to be, boom, right into it, get into some home run lotto, some hit builders, hits, run, and RBIs, some total bases, some first 5 ERAs, some stolen bases. I can't wait to bet it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But in those games we had on Monday, we had Khalil Shakir over 35.5. He finished at 31. He had a 17-yard touchdown on a drive that had a 15-yard personal foul on a slide on Josh Allen. It was pretty weak. And then a pass interference call as well. So there was 30-ish yards of penalties. Who's to say that touchdown wouldn't have been a little longer? He broke it and ran pretty well wide open. So if that one of those penalties didn't pop up, we would have got our yardage. Josh Allen had 74 rush yards. We had 38.5, killed it. Baker Mayfield over 231. People in the chat, which, speaking of the chat, on Monday, of course, it was Martin Luther King Day. A lot of people were off work. I had 50 people in there, which was fantastic. I have 7 in here right now, which I love all of them. It was pretty cool to have that many people, though, as the accounts continue to grow. But people were saying oh, I don't know about Baker. Crushed it, over 100 yards. I was actually looking. FanDuel has a little promo of Mahomes and Allen to combine for 100 rush yards in their game. I think that's going to be sneaky good because I was thinking about both of their lines anyway, because both of them are runners, and in the last 4 days here in the podcast, we hit I hit on Mahomes' rush yards, I hit on Allen's rush yards. Maybe we combine them. It was plus 200 or something like that. That's a thought. But anyway, I digress. Let's hop into today's plays. And I guess before we get into it, shout out the Warriors. Unfortunately, that game was canceled. I guess their assistant coach has fallen ill, and there's something wrong. I don't know what it was, but I say that because the podcast came out a little later today. If you follow me on Twitter, I mentioned it, but I was loving John Collins today, and whenever we have that matchup, maybe I go back to it. But I thought I had a great matchup and a great angle for it for you guys, but unfortunately that game was voided. But shout out to him. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. But the first game we're going to get into is the Magic and the Hawks. And I actually ended up having 2 plays on this game for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's just the way it kind of went. But the first play is going to be Ice, Trae Young, over 28.5 points in the last 3 games. So it's a situational, just like with this next one, it's a good history matchup. Actually, not this next one, the last one. But anyway, good history matchup, good just matchup overall. In his last 3 games, 2 of them being this year, he went 31, 41, and 37 points. The 31 and the 41 were from this year, the 31 most recently. So he's been able to go over this pretty easily against the Magic. When he's played at least 35 minutes, a game or whatever, he's over this in 17 of his last 20 this year. This is a 4-point spread, which unfortunately in the NBA recently, that does not mean anything. We could have ourselves a massive blowout. In that Pacers game, they were 5-point dogs and they were up 30 at one point. Again, I think it was against the Hawks, wasn't it? Anyway, so hopefully we have a closer game. Hopefully he gets plenty of minutes. If he goes over 35, we're seeing a tremendous cash rate on this number. The Magic allow the 8th most points to point guards in the league, and they actually allow the 6th fewest assists, which is probably why he's been scoring so much, is we know him to be able to be a good facilitator of the ball. He runs the offense pretty well. Offense runs through him. And, when they're shutting down those assists, they're, forcing him to either drive the lane or take more shots. And it's going to lead to him getting more points, obviously. 56% of his shots, speaking of his shots, are pull-ups in some sort of fashion. Over half of his shots are pull-ups. Three-pointers, two-pointers. Over the last 30 days, the Magic allow the 2nd most pull-up threes and the 4th most pull-up twos, pull-up jumpers. So, I don't have a whole lot on it. I kind of left myself my notes there. Not a whole lot to, segue into the next one. But good historical matchup and good situational type in a sense of, what the Magic allow to the point guard position and, this the style of shooting that Trey does and into what their defense has issues stopping. I think it's going to be a good matchup, and we're going to roll that Trey over 28.5 points. The next one's going to be Paolo Banchero over 32.5 points plus assists. When he played the Hawks 10 days ago, he had 39 PA. He cleared this number in points alone against the Hawks in that. I think he had 35 points, only 4 assists. My baby's crying. Good thing my wife's on lunch break still. The Hawks allow the second most points per game to power forwards in the league. In terms of assists, without Franz Wagner, he is averaging nearly 13 potential assists a game. So if his teammates are landing those shots, which the Hawks certainly aren't known for their defense, so I would imagine they're going to be able to get some of those shots put up. That's going to be, dished out by Banchero. 13 potential is pretty good. If we get half of those, I'd be feeling pretty good. All right. If we can get ourselves about 6 assists, I think his line is at, I'm actually going to pull it up here. His line is at 5.5. I swear I've seen it like pretty juiced somewhere else. So we're thinking he's going to get about 5 assists. So we're going to need, in the 27 range points or so. But he has the potential to certainly have a lot more than that based off the potentials that he's had against them in the past. Or I'm sorry, without, Wagner on the floor. The bulk of his assists come at the rim or go to above the break threes. Which is he's above league average in both. I mean, those are really where most assists go to anyway, but he's above league average in both of those stats. The Hawks give up the most assists at the rim this month in January. And it was like, I think 12th or something like that in terms of above the break threes assists given up. But you have guys like, Clint Capella's on their team. You have the Magic, who are big. I was thinking about running Clint Capella because he was going to need some of that height against the Magic, like in his rebounds. But I don't know. I passed it. There's so many things you can play, and I think that's maybe what's difficult about the NBA too is that there's a dozen plays that I like, and then you have to choose which one's the right one. I'm not going to sit here and give you guys 12 plays. Just like in the Discord, I'm not going to give out 12 official plays. That's dumb. Anyway. Banchero over 32.5 points plus assists. And then lastly, it's going to be Jonas Valanciunas. Points plus rebounds over 23.5. This one, I mean, it's just against the Hornets just for the last, really just the 2 years or maybe 3 years. OKC was kind of like this, but not so much anymore. But big man against the Hornets, is kind of just the go-to. And it's certainly what we're going to do today. Fantastic matchup and a historical type spot. We just have to hope that it's not a blowout. Right now, I'm going to check. We'll see what the line is at. 11.5. So it's a little scary. But they have LaMelo Ball back. And LaMelo Ball's got to be able to take over here eventually. I was looking at his points too, which seems kind of low. I think 21.5. I was on him the other day in the Discord when he was set at 18.5, I think it was. So that's certainly a look too. As I mean, I think he's the best point guard in the league. But anyway, I digress. With him back, hopefully we have a closer game. He's over this. Joe Val is over this in 4 of his last 6 games, but 2 of those misses fell at 23. Actually, just one of those misses fell at 23 exactly. So, depending on if you had the 22.5, 23, you would have gotten hooked on it or, got it by the hair of your chinny chin chin. The Hornets allow the most points per game to centers in the league with an average of 28.09 points per game. And they allow the second most rebounds with an average of 17.54, which is a very large number. Obviously, there's more than one center on the league. On a team that plays, so that's not all going to them, but you're looking at a dozen or so from one, and then maybe 4 or 5 to the backup center or the other big man on the field, on the court. Joe Val has dominated the Hornets in his career, though. He's over this number in 11 of his last 12 matchups against them. If you go back to, let's see, just this year in December within this year's, the Xbox man noise. And then my mind gets messed up. He had 29 points and 13 rebounds this year in December. So about a month ago, almost a month ago, he had whatever that math is. What is that? 42. He had 42 PR. We have a line of 23. Game before that, he had 20 and 19. We have 30 and 17, 24 and 18. The miss was 10 and an 8. We had a 12 and a 15, a 14 and a 10 when he was back with Memphis, a 16 and a 9, a 16 and a 13 when he was with Toronto, a 20 and a 17, a 30 and an 18, a 24 and a 21. Obviously, these teams like changed considerably. He is on his third team since then within the span of those 12 games. But this is a matchup that he dominates and has been dominating for quite a long time now, going back to 2018. This is his 5th or 6th year in a row of him dominating this matchup. They just struggle against the bigs. I don't know. I should have done. Here I am, like trying to like. I keep thinking of things that I didn't like research on the fly. Is Mark Williams still out? Yeah, I don't know. I think he's got like a knee or a back or something. But Nick Richards is the opposing, big man. So, and then of course, if he's the backup, they were backup on the bench depending on what the matchup looks like. As long as there's not a blowout, I think it's a tremendous spot for him to get his points plus rebounds. So to recap here, with these 3 plays today, January 17th, we're gonna run 3 plays today. We're gonna go with Trae Young over 28.5 points, Paolo Banchero over 32.5 points plus assists. Then we're gonna go with Jonas Valanciunas over 23.5 points plus rebounds. As always, my name is Joe. Jort, if you will. Lunchtime in the Lab, we brought to you every day. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me at all social medias at Live Joe Betts. In particular, Twitter is where I do a lot of my hub. It's essential, and I'm able to kind of share things to it. I certainly have the most followers, like 21,000 or something like that. Shout out to that. That's fantastic. I was looking at my Twitch the other day, and I had on there something about like having 3,000 followers and you can join and be one of them and get some of my info. And like, it's just funny that you fast forward to, I don't know how long ago it was, a year and a half or something. I got 21,000. Anyway though, and I think that's all I got for the podcast. Sorry to ramble on. I've been recording for a minute here. Not bad. About a 15-minute podcast. Got to add the music on the front and the back. So we're looking at about 16 minutes. Reminder in the description, check out Pony Up. Check out my link tree, which is going to have the links for you to take you to YouTube to subscribe and check out the video version. Take you to Spotify to follow and give a 5-star review on there. It has the app, the link for, Pony Up. It's got information on Beer Money Picks. You want to check out the VIP. It's got my Twitter. It's got my TikTok. Got the YouTube. Instagram, I think, is on there. Everything, Trying to do everything. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to get out of here. We are on an 11-3 run, I think, in the last X amount of... Boy, I can't think what the math is, but we've been doing pretty good here. So hopefully we get ourselves another 3-0 day, or at least a 2-1. And I'll see you guys back tomorrow, and we'll do it all over again. And unfortunately, bet on the NBA. But here soon, hopefully, I can start weaseling in some NFL, and then going into the weekend, we'll just have a bunch of plays with the NFL or something like that. So appreciate you guys. I'm gonna close out the podcast, see what's going on YouTube, see if anybody has any questions, and I'm gonna get out of here, and I'll catch you guys back tomorrow. Okay, that's done. YouTube, there's not very many people in here. First off, thanks so much for listening. Secondly, if you haven't subscribed, please make sure you do that for me. Before I close it out, do you guys have any questions? I was just thinking, what was I just thinking about, though? There was something I wanted to do, and I don't know what it was. All right, guys, I'm going to close it out. Man, there was something I wanted to do. I think it was on YouTube. It's something I wanted to look at. But I'm going to close it out. I'll be back here tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining live or watching on the recorded version just as much. If you're not following or if you have not liked the button yet. That is one thing. I only got 2 likes. I don't get a whole lot of likes. So I got to make sure I remind you guys to do that next time. But I'm going to close it out. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys back tomorrow.